What's up, folks? It is Chris here with another short for Real Amigos, and I'm joined this week by my co-host, Donnie. Donnie, what's up, man?
Hola, not much.
How's
from rainy Jacksonville?
Rain? Oh, it's raining, huh?
Pouring all day.
Oh, wow.
All kinds of stuff.
I miss the rain. We get rain here in Texas, but it's definitely not like Florida. I love all the rain. We do not have Phil, so if you're looking for the handsome, dapper Michigan resident, he is on furlough. He's at a conference this week with some friends, some colleagues, and so he is out. And so it'll just be us two tonight, which will be fine. We hope that's okay with you. If you don't know where you are, this is Real Amigos. We are a movie podcast, and we talk about movies. That seems pretty self-explanatory. We rotate our shows every other week. We focus on a movie of choice, and then the off weeks we do what's called shorts, and that's where we do a more abbreviated version of our show where we talk about just general topics, and we have some fun stuff that we do on those. If you've never listened before, go back and check it out. We have we're up to, I think, episode number 4 now, so we have some stuff back there you guys can check out, and we'd love you to do that. We are an audio and a video podcast, so if you are listening to this, then you can actually watch us if you'd like to do that on YouTube. And if you are watching us and would rather hear us in your ear holes, you can do that by subscribing to our podcast. We are on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, I think it's a SoundCloud. We're actually trying to get on Spotify, but Spotify's, they just started rolling out podcasts, and so I'm looking into that. So hopefully that'll be coming soon. But anyway, and if you just want to follow us, you can actually go to Twitter and just follow @RealAmigos, and you can kind of see what we're up to there. We post when we, post shows and stuff like that. So anyway, all that is out of the way. Welcome to short number 3. So tonight, let's just kind of start. We'll have a general conversation about last week. So if you watched our show last week was episode 3, which was all focused on a little movie called Raising Arizona, which I will say 2 things. I had a lot of fun cutting that show. So if you watched the video, if you watch the video version, I try to cut in some clips from the movies and some different things, and it turns out really good. So I do encourage that you watch it if you have the ability to do that.
Can I cut in and ask you a question?
Yeah, hit me.
Did you eat any sand this week?
You ate what?
You ate sand?
Oh man, so I normally, when I'm editing, I have my headphones on so I can hear and make sure the timing is good. And I cannot tell you how hard I laughed the entire time trying to shoot that, or trying to cut that. I want it to be just perfect, but that scene, every time I watch it, there's just a little bit of nuance every time that just gets added. And it's just, I stand by, and I have no proof of this, but I stand by Nick Cage had absolutely no idea what the line was. Because he seems just
First time he
shocked.
heard it.
He just seems shocked.
He might have maybe thought the dude was misreading his line or something. You ate sand?
So
Are you sure it's not sandwich?
What now? What's the progression again? He eats
meat, frog, crawdad.
Crawdad first. We eat frogs.
We would eat sand.
No, I think it went. Crawdad then frogs.
No,
right?
it was meat, frog, crawdad, and then when there was no crawdad to be found, we would eat sand.
You ate sand?
We ate sand. Classic.
That has okay. The other thing that I'll say about this is after doing the show, if you watch the show or you listen to the show, you probably heard that I had a little bit of a mixed bag with Raising Arizona. It was my first time ever seeing it. It was a lot to take in. I will say that I have watched it 2 more times since the show, and I've spent probably an hour and a half editing our show, and that movie has grown on me in a big bad way. I think that movie is great.
Another convert.
I think that movie is great. There's so much nuance in that movie that it is just fantastic.
It is fantastic. I love it.
It's just so good. Everybody freeze and everybody get on the ground. Now, son, we can't do both. It's
Oh,
just
man.
it's good. Okay, so couple things. So anyway, we just want to promote that, you guys. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's our third episode. In my opinion, is by far the best one we've done so far. Had a lot of fun. We are gonna talk about our next movie at the end of the show, but just kind of a little bit of a preview. Our next movie stars a gentleman named Kevin Costner. I was reading about Raising Arizona and actually saw that Kevin Costner had auditioned for the role of H.I. in Raising Arizona. So what a different movie that would have been. I don't know that
boring.
Yeah, I don't know that movie. I don't know that Raising Arizona could have been pulled off without Nicolas Cage.
Nope.
He was great. And then I looked up financials. So the movie cost $5 million. That was the budget on the movie, $5 million. And it definitely wasn't a box office smash. It was obviously a very niche kind of indie movie that was right there, kind of at the birth of like, you know, kind of indie filmmaking. But it still made about $29 million worldwide. I mean, that's still a profit. That's not bad. So yeah. So really, really good. Anything you want to throw out just about Raising Arizona?
I think I spoke my mind pretty clearly. I love that with one of my favorite comedies ever.
It's good. If you haven't listened to our episode, I highly recommend that you do. We have a lot of fun. With it. And if you haven't seen Raising Arizona, after watching it now, I think probably 5 times in the last 3 weeks, I would highly recommend that you watch the movie. It's excellent. All right, so let's kind of move into why we're here. So we're changing things up a little bit. The last few shorts we kind of went over headlines, and I thought we kind of maybe try something a little bit different in that we're gonna go more topic based. So look, we don't really care that much about the news, to be honest with you, and it doesn't really gel with the other part of our show, which is just talking about movies. So we thought what we'd do is just kind of have like fun movie-based topics that we wanted to kind of discuss, and we'll try to change them up, you know, as we go. But to kick off tonight, I thought what would be fun. This is, if you're listening or watching this, it is the middle of April. You're at what are we? April 13th, 14th, April 13th. No, 13th, because they're gonna watch this on
13th.
Friday. That's right. So Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Which is great.
Spooky.
But you are also, as you're listening to this, you are 2 weeks away from Marvel Infinity War, which blows my mind. But with that in mind, I thought this would be a perfect time to kind of preview what was coming up this summer. So I put together a list of what I would consider kind of the highlights of the summer movies, starting actually right now, today, on through the rest of the summer. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to go through them one by one, talk about them, give our thoughts, and just kind of have some fun with it. And maybe there's a movie you didn't know was coming out that maybe will help you out, and maybe there's a movie that you knew was coming out that we can help you save your money by not going to see. So let's jump in with the movie that is out today, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and a monkey and a flying squirrel, maybe, and a crocodile thing. Rampage, the movie is out right now. So Rampage is based on a video game. Did you know this? You know the video game, right, Don?
I played the video game in the arcade.
It's an old arcade game where you would pick one of these monsters and you would go around and just smash the cities. You know, it's basically like a dollar store brand King Kong. And yeah, so they decided that would be a great premise for a movie. What's kind of your temperature on this, Donnie? Rampage?
Are you gonna do your 3-point thing?
Oh no. I just put it there if we wanted to go back to it. We don't. No, just go ahead.
Okay, I thought you were gonna do like, am I gonna go to the theater and see it?
Oh, we'll do that at the end.
Okay. Oh, I thought we were doing that for each movie. Okay.
Yeah, we are, but we're gonna do it at the end of
the
end of each movie.
It looks like something I would watch. It's I don't know. It just looks entertaining. As I've said on other episodes, I just like to be entertained, man. I don't overthink my movies, to my own fault maybe, but I It looks interesting.
And we're gonna. This is only the first. This is the first of two movies with The Rock in it that we're gonna talk about, and we'll get there in a minute. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the games. Like, I played the game when I was younger. I understand, the kind of the nostalgia for it. It isn't
You get
like
to eat people, man.
I don't know.
You can munch them up.
I don't know. Hey, I will tell you that since we entered Michael Bay territory with Transformers, I'm less and less intrigued by the giant CGI kind of spectacle movies.
Now be careful what you say right now.
It's kind of
coming back to this in a little bit.
We are. Okay. But yeah. So anyway, okay. So we'll end with Rampage. I'm going to ask you at the end of each of the movies that we talk about, are you going to see it in the theater? Are you going to wait for Blu-ray? Or are you not going to see it at all? Donnie, Rampage?
Blu-ray.
Yeah, and I'll probably fall there too. I do end up normally like watching The Rock. He's normally pretty funny, and I enjoy him. So I will probably end up watching it, but I definitely will not watch it in the theater. So, all right, moving on in April. The next big movie hits at the end of April, which is April 27th, and that's a very small indie action movie called The Avengers: Infinity War.
I have a question. I have two questions, real quick.
It's not an indie film, by the way.
Oh, that was my third question.
Okay,
thanks.
good.
Question one, this is early for a summer movie, because usually summer movies are May, right? I mean, this is April. This is really soon for a big movie like this.
That is correct, yes.
And second question, is this part one? Because wasn't there originally a part one and a part two?
So the answer to that question is yes and no. So let's address that question first. So
okay.
The Russo brothers were given two Avengers movies. So the Russo brothers are the guys who did Captain America: Civil War and Captain America: Winter Soldier. They're also known for Community and Arrested Development. They were given two Avengers movies. Initially, the plan was Infinity War 1 and Infinity War Part 2. And that is not the case. They changed the name of the second one. However, they are still in charge of both the movies, and the next movie drops next summer, 2019. So we're getting them back to back. But it's not necessarily a direct sequel, although it will pick up, where this one leaves off. As for the timing, there's no official statement. It was initially scheduled for May 4th, so it was actually scheduled for the following week, and they moved it back a week about a month ago. I don't know that there was ever a reason given. I could give you one. I feel like a movie we're going to talk about in a little while, Solo, a Star Wars movie, comes out in May. And Disney had Black Panther, which was big in February.
Right.
And then they had A Wrinkle in Time, which was supposed to be big in in March. And I feel like with Solo in May, I feel like they maybe just wanted to move it so they'd have an April, have it drop in April.
Spreading the wealth a little bit, I guess.
And Avengers will make so much money in its opening weekend, it'll probably make more than most other movies will in a whole month. So that's my theory, but obviously I have nothing to back that up with. But let's talk about it. Infinity War. So this is coming off of Black Panther has now overtaken Titanic on the list of all-time grossing movies. So it is very quickly climbing that list. Black Panther is just a powerhouse. And the majority of Infinity War, from what we see from the trailers and from what we know, takes place in Wakanda. So they're leaning really heavy back into Black Panther, really heavy back into Wakanda. Really, I think, hoping to kind of, roll with that same momentum into this. And it's going to be a huge, huge, huge movie.
Yeah, definitely.
The cast is, everybody. The cast is literally everybody. Everybody keeps complaining because Hawkeye's not on the posters, but, Hawkeye's in the movie. Everybody is he in the movie? He is going to be in. He'll probably just show up at the beginning and be like...
Will anyone know he's in the movie? That's the question.
No, probably not. Probably not. So it looks great. I don't think we really need to talk about this. This is all over everywhere. So let me just ask you, is this a theater for you?
Oh yeah, theater.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
My plan is to go opening night, and then I'm planning to take my kids, so I'll probably go twice opening weekend. But I like to watch. I typically like to watch movies unless it's geared to kids. I normally like to watch it before I take my kids. Plus, I will probably go late on either Thursday night or late on Friday, and I don't want to keep the kids out. So, and I definitely don't want to wait till Sunday to see it. The other thing about this, just a real quick note about Avengers, is that it actually opens. Oh crap! I think in France maybe or Italy, but it opens somewhere first before it hits the U.S. So the Russo brothers and Robert Downey Jr. they've all went on and basically were just saying, please do not spoil anything until everybody's had a chance to see the movie, which means
social media blackout.
Yeah, which means you need to stay off of social media probably the week leading up to Infinity War if you want to go in blind, and also be prepared to be shocked. Everything that I've heard from this movie is that the tone is completely different. It's supposed to be really hilarious, but it takes a completely different tone than you're expecting, and so, yeah. So, real quick, let me just ask you before we move on here. Now, again, we're just lay people, just movie watchers. We don't know anything. What is your gut feeling? Like, what big surprise do you think somebody's going to, who do you think is going to die?
I'm guessing, like, Iron Man or Captain America is going to die.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah. I feel like they're probably both going to die, but I don't know if they'll both die in this movie. I feel like they may kill one of them off here and then one of them next year.
Right.
I agree with that. I feel like
maybe they'll put a face-off spin to it, and then Captain America and Iron Man will like do
switch bodies,
switch faces, and we'll get like a whole thing like that. That'd be awesome.
Hey, Disney is they've nailed that technology, so they probably could. My guess is that Iron Man is about to die, and Cap steps in and dies in his stead.
Martyr.
And that kind of completes, Captain America's whole arc has been he will stand up to bullies, and that Thanos is the encapsulation of that on a galactic front, and
right.
And I just feel like it goes back to that scene where Tommy Lee Jones in the first Avenger throws the grenade down, and Steve Rogers in his little frail body jumps on it for everybody. I just feel like that is the way that Cap has to go out. And so I think that's going to happen. Sense. But I do think that Robert Downey Jr. dies too. I will also say this real quick. This is a complete I guess theory on my part. I feel like Star-Lord is going to be the hero of this movie. I think by the time it's over,
not Hawkeye.
No, definitely not Hawkeye. I think by the time it's over, I think Star-Lord wears the Infinity Gauntlet and he saves the day. We see the scene at the end of Guardians 1 where he was able to hold the Infinity Stone for a short time and it didn't overpower him. And I think that's setting up that he's the only other one that can really wield the gauntlet. So that's my theory. Okay. All right. Infinity War. Both of us write it down. We have it.
Right now.
It's all saved. We have proof now.
Boom. Done.
Infinity War. So we're both theater there. Okay. Now we move to May. May 4th is Overboard. Now I was doing notes for the show and I came across this and I was like, well, clearly this isn't the same movie that we've already had, but it is absolutely the exact same movie. So they are remaking. Yes, yep, gender switch, but they are remaking the movie, which was
what year was that movie from, Chris? Do you know?
1987.
Yes.
Yes. 87.
This is your mystery year.
This is the mystery year. No. Now I've seen this movie. This is Kurt Russell, Melanie Griffith, right? Is that
Goldie Hawn?
Goldie Hawn. Yeah, I always get them mixed up. Yeah. So he is. No, wait. She is. She has amnesia.
She's rich, and she gets amnesia, and he puts her to work as his mate.
Yeah.
And mother to his children.
Yeah, I absolutely. So here's without knowing anything about the movie, I haven't watched a trailer. I don't know anything about it. Without knowing anything, there are very few people in Hollywood even near as charismatic as Kurt Russell. And I just don't know. I think that the gender swapping, I think, is a good idea, because I just don't know that you could do that without that person constantly being compared to Kurt Russell.
To Kurt.
Yeah, so I think that's probably a good idea, but I don't know about this movie. So it's starting Anna Faris. She's really the only big name in it. It is written by some good people. So I don't. Did you ever see Wedding Crashers?
I have.
Okay, so Wedding Crashers, it was pretty funny at the time. I really like Vince Vaughn. He's pretty funny, and
he's fun.
And so yeah. So I mean, there's definitely
Cell Block 99. Have you watched it yet?
No.
Not funny, but good.
No, I haven't. I haven't watched it yet. It's on the list though. That one and American Ninja, which I still don't think is a real movie.
Surely is.
So all right. So Overboard theater Blu-ray skip. Where are you at there?
Skip.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip on this.
No interest.
I mean, unless this hits and people are just praising it, I don't think this will ever be back on my radar at all. All right, that takes us to 5/25. May 25th is a movie that I am ecstatic for, and that is a movie called Solo, a Star Wars story. Let me ask you this. 2 days ago, Sunday, they released the first full story trailer. Did you watch it? I sent you a link to it. Okay, so let's just talk about that real quick. Where'd you fall on that trailer?
You're gonna hate me, but I'm not feeling this movie. I'm gonna go see this movie, but I don't know, man. The guy's not. He's not hitting the Solo feel for me. I could be totally wrong, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to go see it and check it out. But
you're killing me, man.
I knew I would, but I don't feel it, man.
Man, the cast is just fantastic.
I don't even know these people. I know none of them.
Okay, so
Woody Harrelson, I know him.
Woody Harrelson, Donald Glover is
I know who
amazing.
That is.
Emily Clark is the dragon lady from Game of Thrones.
Don't know who that is.
Yeah, she hasn't been in a lot of movies. She was in a Terminator movie. She was in like Terminator Salvation, maybe, or one of them. It doesn't matter.
Don't know, man.
Yeah, Chewbacca. Chewbacca, of course, is in it.
Oh, I know Chewbacca.
Chewbacca's great.
Chewbacca's been in lots of movies.
He's great, dude. Lawrence Kasdan's writing it, man.
Wasn't Chewbacca in Teen Wolf? I think he was in Teen Wolf.
He was.
That was a good one.
Yeah, and then when he was a kid, he was cast in Gremlins. So Lawrence Kasdan, man. Lawrence Kasdan is writing it.
I know, he's the Empire guy. I get it. I'm hopeful. Don't misunderstand.
I think this movie
looks cautious. That's
amazing. I cannot wait.
I'm going to answer the question right now. I'll be in the theater.
In
the theater.
Yeah, I don't think we have to talk about it anymore. I am super, super, super pumped. More than likely, we will probably do a short just about our review of this movie at some point. Okay, next up, that takes us into June. So June 1st, a movie comes out called Upgrade. Now, Phil I had never heard of this. Phil sent us a link to it like a week ago, and the trailer is crazy banana pants.
It's insane, dude. Yeah.
So it's if you don't know what it is, pretty much every movie that we're talking about right now is available on YouTube in trailer form, so you can watch it. Or if you're watching our video show, you're going to be watching clips of it right down below. But what we know about Upgrade, just from the trailer, is that this guy gets some sort of medical implant that basically augments his ability to make him a better fighter. And it's to the point where he doesn't really control it. It's kind of like reflexes. And so that one scene, he keeps telling that guy, he's like, "Don't do it, man, don't do it." And he just beats the crap out of that guy. It looks a little bit like IP Man or like John Wick. Like, it has really quick cuts and really like tight hand-to-hand combat. It looks like it could be it looks like it could be kind of a sleeper hit of the summer. So I'm into it. It is being I don't know any of the people. It's being directed by, written and directed by a horror guy. He wrote the Saw movies and directed an Insidious movie. And then the star, his name is Logan Marshall Green, which again, also never heard of this guy. This is an absolute out of nowhere, has no right to be good, but like those are the kind of movies that kind of come out of nowhere sometimes and surprise you. So if you don't already know, put Upgrade on your at least on your radar. Just kind of check it out. So Upgrade, theater, Blu-ray, Skip.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way.
I'll check it out.
Yeah,
if it's not, there's certain things I try not to watch, but I usually try to screen them at a time. So
yeah.
We'll see.
I'm with you.
We'll see how bad it is.
yeah. I mean, it looks good. We'll see. Okay, moving on. The very next week. Now we're up to June 8th. We are getting a release called Ocean's 8. Now this is a not really a reboot per se, but kind of a reimagining of the Ocean's 11 movies, but starring an all-female cast. So it's Sandra Bullock, Anne Hathaway, Kate Blanchett, Katie Holmes, Mindy Kaling, Olivia Munn, and Rihanna. Is that 8? Maybe I missed one. And Helen Bonham Carter is one of them. So and then there's one more, Paula. Crap, I forget her name. Paula Poulsen, I think. So anyway, so you have it's the same thing. It's a heist movie, but with all girls. It's written and directed by Gary Ross. Let me just make that notation. So this is not even written and directed by the Ocean's 11 people. So Gary Ross is most known for Pleasantville and Seabiscuit, and he also wrote and directed the first Hunger Games, movie.
Boy.
So that's kind of where he falls. I don't really have much else to say. Donnie, any thoughts about Ocean's 8?
I have no thoughts about Ocean's 8.
Is this where do you fall on this? Theater, Blu-ray, Skip?
Skip.
Interested. Look, in
all fairness, I didn't watch the Oceans 11, 12, and 13 until it was on Netflix. So there's
fair enough. Those are good movies.
No, they were okay.
I think it's a good cast. I think that this movie just
heist movies don't really do much for me. They're whatever.
I think that if they have a good chemistry, I think this because that's really what makes Ocean's 11. If you watch Ocean's 11, it's not really. I mean, it is very much paint by numbers heist movie. There's nothing really special in it at all, but it's just the chemistry of those actors is great. So if they can hit that same chemistry, I think it'll be great. It'll probably be a Blu-ray for me. I would probably watch it because I like a lot of these people.
That's probably why they went Ocean's 8, so then they can go Ocean's 9, Ocean's 10. And not hit on 11.
Crap, I didn't even think about that. And then if they do a trilogy, so then you actually have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13.
And then they bring the women and the men together.
Oh, crap.
And then they do 14, 15, 16. And then this goes on forever. Like Star Wars.
Like Fast and Furious.
Transformers.
All right. So that'd probably be a Blu-ray for me, but I'm definitely not going to the theater for that. All right. Next up, 6/15, another movie that I'm June 15th, incredibly excited for is a movie called The Incredibles 2. Pixar and Disney are back. We actually had a little bit of a conversation with this between you, myself, and Phil, and so we'll touch on it a little bit here. Let me just kind of get your temperature before we jump in here. First off, how do you feel about the original Incredibles movie?
I like the original Incredibles a lot, but truthfully, I've only seen it one time. I saw it in the theater.
Oh, man.
And it was long. It seemed kind of long for
it is
like
long.
A Pixar.
Yeah.
But I remember enjoying it. In fact, I'll probably revisit it before I go, check this one out in some way.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. And I cry and I laugh and it's so good.
Stop crying.
I can't help it. When he thinks that his wife's dead and oh my gosh, and then he tells her he can't lose her again. Oh, I'm gonna tear up now. It's so good.
Relax, man.
I love The Incredibles.
It's no Up. calm down.
It's definitely no Up. That I'll give you that. It's better than Up, but definitely not sadder. Okay, so Incredibles 2 comes out. What's your kind of initial take? Like, what's your temperature on this?
Um, I'm sure it'll be good, but I mean, I've struggled outside of the Toy Story sequels. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like I didn't care for any of the Cars stuff. Monsters University I thought was okay.
Oh man, Monsters U was great.
I only saw it once. Maybe I need to watch it again.
Yeah, Monsters
I don't know. I have a feeling that they're starting to do this sequel thing over too much. I don't know. Finding Dory, I didn't.
Yeah, Finding Dory was not good. Let me. I'm gonna give you a little side note here.
This is the longest short ever, by the way. Just so you know.
No, I don't know. Last week was pretty dang long. Let me tell you what we do here is we have a DVD player in our car. We have a van. I have a lot of kids, and
yes, you do. Raising Arizona style.
So exactly. So we put movies in so they can, but I can't see them. Obviously, I'm driving. But if we're in the car for a while, we can watch about half a movie sometimes. And a lot of these movies are so great. And Monsters University is one of those ones that has these. It's almost, honestly, it's almost Raising Arizona type, where it's just these little one-liners and these like little nuanced ways that they deliver lines. And right. You don't. I've watched them, like actually watched them 2 or 3 times and still miss it. But when all you can do is hear it, they come through, and man, sometimes they're super, super funny. For me, Incredibles is great. I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan, and this is the closest that we've gotten to Fantastic Four in movie form, the way that it should be. I think that it's absolutely great. I love Brad Bird. I think he's an amazing writer and director. I think the cast is great. I am super pumped for this movie. If you don't know the plot real quick, the plot is real cool. In that, it's really going to shake things up. And so we spent the whole first movie with Bob wanting to find his purpose, his place. And so he finds that by going off to an island and doing superheroes, because that's the only time he feels alive. We enter this movie, and they actually want to bring supers back, but they want to use Elastigirl as the face of the movement. So they bring Elastigirl back to work, but that means Bob doesn't get to do it. So Bob, it technically becomes a stay-at-home dad. So it's really kind of this deep dive into the male ego and what you're willing to give up for your family, and how you find purpose whenever what you feel like is your only purpose is not being fulfilled. I think that's a super great premise for the movie, and I think it's going to be funny, and I think it'll be really deep, and I'm super pumped for it. So this for me is theater, absolutely, probably more than once. So how about you?
Probably take the temperature of the family on this one. If they want to go to the theater, then we'll do theater. If not, it'll be Blu-ray for sure.
Okay. All right, moving on. So June 15th, same day. So same day as Incredibles 2. If that's not your flavor, there's a great movie coming out called Tag. What do you know about Tag, Donnie?
The only Tag I know is an Asian movie where people get chopped in half a whole bunch. This is not that movie.
This is not that. Have you watched the trailer, or do you know anything about this movie?
I think I did watch the trailer, but it didn't stick with me. I know it's a big game of tag or something.
Yeah, you need to watch.
Yeah, I did see it.
You need to watch the newest trailer where they're at their best friend's wedding. And they're playing.
Yeah, I think I saw this.
Oh my gosh. This movie, it looks like it has the potential to be a hilarious movie. And so it has a great cast. You have Ed Helms, which is great. You have John Hamm. I love Jake Johnson. Jeremy Hawkeye's in it. Hawkeye won't really be in Avengers much, but he'll definitely be in Tag a lot. Maybe. So it looks really good. If you don't know, the premise is literally just they've played tag their entire life, and they go across country to tag each other and then leave, and they spend their whole life playing this one giant game of tag, and it just looks so funny. Very over the top. In a fun way. All right, the week after that, June 22nd, we have a little movie called Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This is, of course, Pratt coming back with Dallas Bryce Howard. Jeff Goldblum is actually coming back as Ian Malcolm, which is a huge boost for the movie. And so we have that.
Look what he did for Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, dude, he was good at Thor Ragnarok, man.
No, he was good.
He was good.
Probably not the reason.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. No.
But I like Jeff Goldblum.
He's good. Yeah, he's great. So where? Okay, let me ask.
A lot of '80s movies that you never saw, Chris.
No, yeah, well, I saw one of them, real good.
No, you saw one.
Let me ask you. Okay, let me ask you this. Where did you fall on Jurassic World? I don't remember.
I saw it on Blu-ray. Okay. It was enjoyable. I only watched it once.
Oh, okay.
It was okay. I don't know. I don't get on hype trains very often, so that's.
Yeah. I'll tell you, when that pterodactyl takes the babysitter and just
dude, that's
beats
a
her
weird
to death.
Deal.
Oh my gosh,
that seems excessive.
That was a hard scene to watch.
Yeah, that was pretty rough, man.
I saw it twice in the theater. I went once by myself, then I took the kids. The older kids. It was okay. There was a lot of good in it, while still not being good. I'm really worried about this movie. I kind of wanted to see them shake it up a little bit, but it kind of seems like exactly the same thing again. They're going back to the island again, and right. So I don't know. I actually don't even know if I'll go to the theater to see this. I'm gonna say Blu-ray right now, unless I have some extra cash, or maybe I get a group of friends that want to go to the movies to see it and they invite me. Maybe I'll go, but like just right now, gut reaction, I don't even think that I'm probably gonna go see this. So.
Yeah, it's Blu-ray for me too.
Yeah. All right, July 6th. Also, another movie I'm super excited for. Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out. Paul Rudd's back. Evangeline Lilly's back. Michael Douglas is back. And we also have Michelle Pfeiffer joining. And she is playing Janet's mom. So Hank Pym, Michael Douglas' character, that's his wife, who was lost in the molecular, I forget what they call it, but the small particle universe. So she's going to be back. Have you seen the trailer? The trailer for this movie looks absolutely great. Did you see it?
I don't think I've seen the trailer for this one.
Oh man, it looks good. They play a lot with the big and small. She throws a Pez dispenser out the window and then hits it with a thing and it turns into a giant Pez dispenser. They're doing a car chase and there's this giant Pez dispenser now on the street.
No, I've seen that.
I like the play with scale, and I like that they're doing that. Peyton Reed is back directing, so he's the same person that directed the first movie, and so excited about that. I actually think this is really good. I will just kind of mention real quick, there is a bad guy that they showed called Ghost from the comics. I think that they're kind of going to shake it up.
Space Ghost?
No, not definitely. Oh God, I wish it was Space Ghost.
Oh, Space Ghost. Now you're talking.
I'm gonna go here. Say spoilers. I think Michelle Pfeiffer's the bad guy. So I think that she lost her mind whenever she was small, and she's gonna come back and she's gonna be the bad guy.
Nice.
So that's my
Catwoman.
guess. Catwoman. That's right. And so then you'll end up having mom versus daughter in the finale. Is kind of what that would look like. That's my guess. I have no idea. All right, Ant-Man theater, Blu-ray, skip.
Theater or Blu-ray?
Yeah.
Probably theater.
Yeah, this is definitely a theater for, I mean, unless I just don't have money at that point, which is likely. This is definitely a theater for me. I loved Ant-Man. All right, now we get to July 13th. This is a movie that we kind of alluded to earlier. This is the second movie this summer starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and it's called Skyscraper. Now, this is basically Die Hard on steroids with less legs.
I thought you were going to say Die Hard with a limp.
With a limp. Die Hard.
With a limp.
With a limp. It's Die Hard on steroids with less legs. So if you haven't seen this, I've never heard of this until you put it on this paper. You really should watch the trailer. I don't. Yeah, I think you should. I don't think it's going to be a bad movie. I think it'll be. It definitely is not a theater for me. I'll tell you right now, this will be a Blu-ray, just like Rampage will be. I think it's going to be one of those, just like Rampage. It'll be kind of a fun, mindless action type movie. But basically, the story is the largest skyscraper in the world. I believe they're even in Dubai. Dwayne the Rock Johnson is like security detail. He's a military guy, so he's there to show him, how best to put the security in this brand new skyscraper. And he lost his leg serving in war, so he only has one leg and he's wearing a prosthetic. And basically terrorists attack the tower and it gets shut down, and him and his daughter are trapped inside, and he has to save his daughter and save all the people, and he has to jump for no apparent reason out of the skyscraper to get further down and swing on a rope. And if this all sounds familiar, it's because it's from a little movie called Die Hard. And this is like, if you watch this, you cannot help but think of Die Hard. And that's not to say that it's bad. It just definitely is not something I want to see in the theater. But it looks like it'd probably be fun. Any thoughts there?
Blu-ray. I'll check it out.
Yeah. I think that you should. Now the next one I actually put on here specifically for you. So July 20th, the next movie coming out is Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Mm. Oh yeah.
So I mean, I don't even think I have to ask you. I mean, this is definitely a theater for you, right?
What I think you should say is, Mamma Mia, Here Goes Donnie Again, the opposite direction. Oh, because I did not watch the first one. I'm not a musical guy. No thanks.
Oh man, I love Mamma Mia. So that's there. You can look that up. It is. It's all the same cast. Meryl Streep's back. I mean, it's a great cast, man. And Meryl Streep is back. Pierce Brosnan, Colin Firth, Andy Garcia's in it. Cher's in it. Lily James. It's a great cast. Cher's in it, man. It's a great cast. If you like musicals, the first Mamma Mia was great. I mean, it's just stupid. It's a stupid musical movie, but it looks great. It's on like the French riverside or countryside, and it was beautiful. It was a great setting, and music's fun. So whatever. Yeah. Sure. All right, Mamma Mia. All right, the next week, July 27th. That's my anniversary, actually. July 27th, we have Mission Impossible Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
So this is with Tom Cruise. You have Rebecca Ferguson's back. Of course, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, Alec Baldwin. And you also have Henry Cavill, complete with his amazing mustache, coming back for this.
The one they had to CGI out of Justice League, I believe.
Such a shame. Dude, I love the Mission Impossible movies.
I do too.
I mean, I think that they are always consistently well done.
I agree. I love the grittiness of them. They're always like super real feel to them, except for like maybe the first one, but the rest of them have been real.
Yeah. I mean, and Tom Cruise, I mean, that guy's got to be like 55 or something, 60.
I like Tom Cruise.
Oh, he's great. He's great.
Hates Tom Cruise. I think he's a great actor.
I think he's great. All I was going to say is, I mean, he's got to be close to 60 now, and that guy does pretty much all of his own stuff.
He's crazy, man.
He's crazy. I
don't mean just crazy, but he's spectacularly nuts.
Oh yeah, he
hangs off buildings and off mountains and airplanes.
In the last
he flew a helicopter
movie.
In this movie.
I know that
no one else in the helicopter.
That's what he did this time. In the last movie, they did that orbit fight in a Ghost Protocol. Was it Ghost Protocol? Was the last one?
The orbit fight?
Yeah, when they were in the plane and they got into zero, they were high altitude.
Yeah.
And so it was like 0G. They actually shot that in at the edge of orbit. He flew.
Yeah. He's certifiable, man.
That's crazy.
It's like, Tom, it's called acting, man. You don't have to actually do everything.
That's right.
It's acting.
He's good. I like him, dude. I will watch every Mission Impossible movie they make. I absolutely love them. I will be there. I will say this. At this point, I've had at least 4 movies this summer that I've seen in the theater. So I might not go see Mission Impossible in the theater at this point.
Oh no, I'll switch out Ant-Man.
Really? To go see this?
Oh heck yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of on the fence at theater. I definitely will watch it.
I'm all theater on this one.
All theater. Wow. So you're all in on Mission Impossible.
I've seen all the Mission Impossibles in the theater.
Oh, I love it. Good. Okay. Well, now I'm gonna have to go now so we can talk about it. Okay. All right. Same day on the 27th, you have a movie called Teen Titans Go to the Movies. I know this probably doesn't resonate with you.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay. So I just put this here because I absolutely love the Teen Titans, and this is the cast from the TV show coming to the big screen. Real quick note: we only put 2 animated movies on here. The first one is The Incredibles, and
2.
The Incredibles 2, with starring Elastigirl, and the voice of Elastigirl is who?
Is it Holly Hunter?
It's Holly Hunter. That's right.
Raising Arizona.
And
I love
yeah, I know you do. And in Teen Titans Go to the Movie, they have actually cast Nick Cage as Superman. So both of them are going to be voices this summer. So there's our Raising Arizona cast coming back.
Nice. I like it.
All right, 2 more movies and we'll close out. On August 3rd, we have Christopher Robin. Have you seen this?
Never heard of it.
Okay,
I know who Christopher Robin is, but I don't know anything about
I
this.
watched the trailer and I cried in the trailer.
Dude, do not go see this film. If you're crying at the trailer, don't go see the movie.
So this is Obi-Wan. Ewan McGregor is starring as an adult Christopher Robin who has went out, found his way in the world, and forgotten all about the 100-acre woods, and he kind of loses his way, and Pooh comes into the real world to give him some life advice. And
so this is like Hook?
Yeah, like Hook.
Finding Neverland wasn't that the guy J.M. Barrie that wrote Peter Pan?
Yes.
So now this is him revisit. Okay.
Yeah, this is very, very, very much. Hook is a very good analogy of what it is. But if you watch the trailer, it looks like Ewan McGregor's family goes off or whatever, and he decides he has to stay for work or whatever the situation is. But he just kind of seems like he's lost his way, and he sits down on a bench, and you see the beat up Pooh doll from like the book, like not the fat round cute cartoon, like the beat up stuffed animal. And he walks up and he's like, Christopher Robin, and dude, I lost it. I love it. I think it looks so stinking good. So I'm all in for Christopher Robin.
This stuffed bear doesn't yell dirty jokes at him, right?
No. Different stuffed bear. So I will take the kids to see that. I love Winnie the Pooh. My whole life, I love the characters. I love the world. So I'm a big fan of this. I will take the kids to see this in the theater. So that's a definite for me.
Probably Blu-ray for me.
Yeah. All right. Lastly here, and I'm glad this was the last movie because I wanted to end on it. But August 10th is The Meg. Now, The Meg, literally, I've been waiting for a trailer, and I was preparing for the show, and they literally dropped it this weekend. So it's brand new. If you haven't seen the trailer, we're showing it right here, but you need to watch it with full audio. Did you watch the trailer that I sent you, Donnie?
I did. I watched the trailer, yes.
I love this movie already.
It looks fun.
Looks fun. Okay, so here's what you need to know. This movie is Jason Statham versus the biggest shark of all time. The Meg in this case is a megalodon, and the little bit that we know about the story is that Jason Statham is working in an underwater research facility that somehow they awaken this ancient behemoth of a shark that is giant.
When are we going to learn to quit awakening things in the ocean?
That's right.
Why do we keep doing this?
That's right. Absolutely. Now from what I've read in some of the stuff, and I don't even know that there's even an official synopsis yet. I didn't see one, but from what I read, they're actually playing the story that Jason Statham had a run-in with the shark earlier in his life. So they like to have this whole beef in the movie, which I love. Do you like Jason Statham? I mean, have you seen Crane?
I like him. He's fun. I enjoy his stuff.
He's good. So this is just Jason Statham versus a giant shark, and that's all you need to know. And
you need to know that Dwight from The Office.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Rainn Wilson is in it as well. Absolutely. But I will tell you, I will be in the theater for this. I love shark movies. I love shark movies
too.
And so
Deep Blue Sea is one of my guilty pleasure movies, man.
Man, LL Cool J in that is just great.
It's so dumb, but I love it.
And I love the girl dies at the end. Spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoiler. It is great. It's a great ending.
It's so good.
We had it coming.
So So yeah,
man,
this is
probably
theater
Blu-ray
for me. This is theater for me. You guys need to watch this trailer. You need
I went and saw
to
that.
go see it.
I went and saw The Shallows at the theater with my
Oh,
daughter-in-law.
that was good too, man.
It was I enjoyed it.
It was a little slow, but
It's far-fetched ending, but whatever.
yeah, well, I agree with that. Yeah, but and you know, now that I'm thinking about it, it didn't look as good as it could have. I thought that the shark at a few times was really apparently CGI, but this one actually looks pretty dang good, man. The Meg looks really good. Oh, it'll be fun. It'll be so good. All right, moving into our last little segment here before we go into our preview. We introduced on our last short a couple weeks ago a little thing that we call Donnie's Top 5. Bow, bow, bow. We don't have a theme yet. Well, I'm still working on that. I just started my job, so you know, we're getting there. But in the meantime, Donnie, what is tonight's top 5?
Okay, Chris, tonight's top 5. So you're rolling with the summer preview, so I thought, well, what can we do with that? So I'm calling this Summer Seconds.
Oh.
What this is actors who were in a summer blockbuster film who also were in a film that was about the summer.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it'll make more sense as we go through it.
Okay, that's a deep dive here. All right.
It is. So here we go. Let's start with a summer blockbuster, which we all know and love, the blockbuster movie Jaws. Yes. Jaws, of course, starred Richard Dreyfuss.
Yes.
So Richard Dreyfuss starring in a summer blockbuster. And in a movie about the summer, a little film from 1986, which is one of my favorites of all time, Stand By Me. About a group of kids looking for a dead body in the summer, right before school starts. It's kind of a coming-of-age story. A little bit of tears. Don't watch it, Chris.
One of the best movies of all time. I love Stand By Me.
I love that movie.
I love it. The leech scene every time gets me.
Oh. The faint, yeah, great.
Whew, so good.
Great.
So good.
At number 2, Independence Day, a summer blockbuster of 1996, starring now insane Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid was in a little film you might have heard of called National Lampoon's Vacation from 1983, in which Chevy Chase takes his family across the country to visit Wally World, only to find out, spoiler, that it is no longer open. It's being remodeled. John Candy's in that film. Number 3, Star Wars, a summer blockbuster, maybe the summer blockbuster of all time, starring Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. And he starred in a little film the very next year called Corvette Summer. Corvette Summer.
Right.
And not a very good movie, but it's about the summer.
It's about the summer.
Number 4, Top Gun. Top Gun, 1986.
Love Top Gun.
Starred a gentleman named Tom Skerritt as one of the flying instructors. Can't remember his name. Maybe Viper. I think it was Viper.
Sure.
But he was also in a summer-themed film called Space Camp, a terrible movie from the same year.
I've never seen Space Camp. I've heard about it.
Okay, of all the 80s movies I've told you to go watch, this is not one of them. This is not a good movie. It has what's his name?
River Phoenix?
Joaquin Phoenix in it.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix. Okay.
He was little.
Yeah.
Leah Thompson's in it. That's a plus.
I do like Leah Thompson.
So that's number 4. At number 5, we have a little movie from '84 called Ghostbusters, starring Dan Aykroyd, who was in a summer film called The Great Outdoors, starring opposite John Candy.
Yes.
As he tormented John Candy throughout the summer in their cabin with his brash antics. Which, footnote, John Candy was also in a movie called Summer Rental from 1985.
I haven't seen that.
It was okay. And since I don't know, this is just one of those things I got to do, so I'm going to come in with number 6 here on my top 5.
Okay.
Coming in at number 6 on the top 5 is a little movie from 1982 called E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Love it.
Starring a very much unknown at the time C. Thomas Howell as one of Elliot's friends, or rather one of his brother's friends, I believe. And he started a little film about the summer called Red Dawn. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wait a minute, Red Dawn took place during school. But I'm guessing that once all the teachers were gunned down, it was summer. So early summer, everybody. Let's go celebrate with the Rooskies. That is Donnie's top 5 for the night.
That's good.
Summer seconds.
We've so our first version of top 5 had 15 choices. Our second
it was divisible by 5.
Our second had 6.
Be glad I stopped at 6.
You can go on. I kind of like just calling it a top 5 and just doing it.
Bring it full circle. Here you go.
All right.
Ghostbusters also starred Bill Murray. You might know that.
Yeah.
He was in a movie called What About Bob?
Oh my gosh.
A family that went off on
Richard
the summer
Dreyfuss is in that
Bob.
too.
And Richard Dreyfuss, bringing it full circle back to Jaws, was in What About Bob? There you go. Oh man,
that movie's
full circle,
so
top
good.
5 of 6.
That movie, baby steps. That movie's so good.
Don't hassle me. I'm local.
All right, guys, this is the part of the show where we kind of get you hyped up for next week, and then we tell you bye. So next week is episode 4, and we are looking at the 1987 film The Untouchables, starring Kevin Costner, Sean Connery, Robert De Niro, Andy Garcia, Charles Martin Smith, and some other people. Here's the synopsis from IMDb. Federal agent Elliot Ness sets out to stop Al Capone. Because of rampant corruption, he assembles a small, hand-picked team to... and it stops there. But
and they save a really ugly baby along the way.
And they save a really ugly baby that takes way, way, way too long. So
sneak preview.
So this movie is set in 1930s Prohibition Chicago, where Kevin Costner plays Elliot Ness, comes into town to take down the great Al Capone, and he forms his group of untouchables. It is a little noir. It is a little Western bloody. At times. It is very bloody. And more so than it probably than I expected going in, but it's a good movie, and we dive deep into kind of some of the things that were real, some of the things that weren't. We talk a lot about
Chris's personal character. A lot of things happening in this film.
A lot of stuff. So that is gonna drop next Friday, so a week from today. So if you want to kind of play along with us, it gives you a week to check it out, watch it, take down some notes, and then join us next week as we break down The Untouchables. All right. Do it. All right, guys, that's it. That is the end of our long short. Once again, we appreciate you hanging out. Hopefully we didn't wax too long for you, but there was a lot of good movies coming out this year. So with that being said, again, real quick, you can watch us on YouTube every Friday. You can download and subscribe to our podcast on your podcast service of choice, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud. We're out there. You can do that. Follow us on Twitter at Real Amigos, and you can also like our Facebook page. Just search for or go to facebook.com/The Real Amigos, and you can find us there as well. You can find Donnie on Twitter at Donnie with an IE _mile. No, is it backwards? Other way. Backwards. That's right. Sorry. Miles _ Donnie with an IE. You can find me on Twitter at NeoLego, and you can find Philip on Twitter at Phil Miles. That's FILMILES. That's going to do it for us. We thank you for hanging around. Good to see you once again, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.
You ready? Sand?